There are more than 3,000 free trade zones around the world with total turnover in billions of dollars. Free trade zones are designed to support the development of export, foreign direct investment, and local employment. In addition to boosting economic opportunities, these incentives can create opportunities for money laundering and the financing of terrorism. Hello everyone, my name is Garima Chaudhary and I'm financial crime and compliance expert at Oracle. In this video, I'm going to talk on how graph analytics and machine learning can help you tackle the growing threat of free trade zone. In this video, we are going to learn on how Oracle's powerful financial crime and compliance studio enables firms to do advanced analytics on free trade zone, leveraging both internal and external data. How graph analytics can help for pattern discovery, finding suspicious pattern within your data. And lastly, how graph analytics and machine learning can turbocharge investigation. Here, you're looking at an example of a notebook which is designed for pattern discovery. In the beginning, we have the description of the notebook, which essentially says it is for pattern discovery, finding suspicious risk within our database. The data we are using is the combination of external and internal data, such as bill of lading, company registry, free trade zone, sanctions, negative news, and so on and so forth. We also have list of all the available entities and links. So entities are nothing but the companies, individuals, bill of lading, and so on and so forth. Links are basically linkages between or the edges within our graph, which is the relationship between the nodes or entities, such as beneficiary owners, the brands the company represents, and so on and so forth. Here we have the list of all the companies which has direct operation in free trade zone. If you see this example, Xterra Commercial, this is represented in the biggest box because this deals in the highest number of brands, which is 90. Let's go ahead and start with our first pattern where we would like to see individuals which are linked with several different companies. In our graph, we have a filter so that we can see the individuals which owns more than 10 companies. So by looking at this graph, we can see there are 4 prominent individuals who own a number of different companies within free trade zone. We are able to expand any of these nodes and get more details about and build network from there as well. Additionally, free trade zone are more than commercial distribution center and represent global family business, ethnic religious networks. The merchants consist of specific ethnic religious network are main players in free trade zone. These families own several businesses operating in one or more free trade zone. Even with the company registry information, it is almost impossible to gather the real relationship between these businesses. So in this case, we were able to correlate internal data with company registry information and apply fuzzy name logic to get the family ties here. So if you see the right hand side, we do have list of all top families who are operating in this particular free trade zone. You can see Wackett family owns 20% of the business within the free trade zone, which is huge. We can also build the network of all the entities. If you see Hakam family here, it is consists of various individuals. Additionally, an individual called Nidal Akram and related with various sanctions entities. Another pattern which we build here is the companies which are dealing with same external entity. So if you can see this individual, Ahmed Ali, works as guarantor to many of the companies we are dealing with and how they are related with another entities here. We can also see one of this company is part of a sanction list, and these individuals own various other companies within our network. The next pattern is about companies doing business in high-risk geographies. The icons which are represented by red color have a higher risk versus the ones in orange color. Our next pattern is about companies with red flags. So if you see this specific individual, El Dorado, has an internal red flag about deviation from peer group commodity price. So that was one of the internal rule which was hit. It also has a negative news and also part of a sanction list here. Lastly, we have companies which say they are dealing in free trade zone but have no record in free trade zone database. Here again, we were able to correlate internal data with external information and get the list of all the companies who are not part of free trade zone database. You can see how they're connected with, again, the same individual, sanctions individual, Muhammad here, and how, we have some internal red flags and the companies operated by that specific individual. In our next part of demonstration, we'll be using another notebook which is configured for special investigation. Say the entity which we would like to investigate is Japan Tobacco International. We just search for that specific individual company here, and we do have some search results back. We do have some screening results back, so we can see Japan Tobacco International best matches with Japan Tobacco ILT, and the percentage match is 85%. We also have a list hit against internal database here. Now in this case, we are going to build a network using internal data such as customer account address and lot of external data such as business company registry information, world check, free trade zone, and things like that. Let's go ahead and expand and start our investigation. Alright, so we search for Japan Tobacco International, and we can see this company is part of our customer base, and this company is doing business with Mermaid Overseas and West Coast International. By right clicking any of these links, we can see Japan Tobacco International is dealing in menthol with West Coast International. Let's go ahead and right click on another node here, which is Mermaid Overseas, and we can see Mermaid Overseas is also related with this another company, OA Center SA, which is kind of owned by this another individual here, Samuel, which is part of a sanction list. We can also see Mermaid Overseas is doing business here with another company, which is again part of a sanction list. Let's go ahead and expand this individual and see what we can find. Okay, all right, we can see Samuel also owns many other companies here, and that is coming from company registry information. We can also see one of the companies he owns is BIS Overseas, is also doing business with West Coast International. BIS Overseas is based out of Panama. BIS Overseas is doing business with Altico International, which is again in Panama. There is another company here is Hans Dormont. Let's go ahead and expand that and see what we can find. All right, we can see that West Coast International is doing business with many other companies, Medco Limited, which is based out of Cyprus. We can also see West Coast International is doing business with another company here. If we expand that, we can see this company is part of a sanction list. Let's go ahead and expand DSS Overseas. All right, we can see West Coast Overseas has a beneficiary owner named Hassan Ali Barakat, which is part of a very prominent family called Barakat family. We can also see there is negative news on Hassan Ali. We can right click and get the details. If we expand more this Hassan Ali, let's see if we can find more information. All right, we can see this prominent family Barakat has individual named Muhammad Faiz, and there are many other individuals who work in the family. If we expand this Muhammad Faiz, we can see there is a negative news on this individual, which is part of the same family and is also part of a sanction list. If we expand this Medico Limited, we can see that Medico Limited is doing business with another company called Al Rabia in UAE. We do have an internal hit on Al Rabia. It is about inconsistent shipping, and then there is also a negative news. So now you can see how we expanded our search, and we were able to see a very suspicious network of companies and individuals who are operating in a very suspicious manner here. Moving on, we have list of all the reference data sources. We can see we had sources, internal data, which is event, customer, and also world check external entity information. Since our focused entity are based out of Panama Free Trade Zone, we can see Panama is the highest contributing country in overall country risk. We have list of all the risk factors and red flags. High risk transaction had 26 different hits within our graph. We have list of all the transactions here. And now here we have the overall network disposition score, which is a system generated score, machine learning based score. Here is the breakdown of entire risk score. The recommendation by machine is consider escalation. We can export this information and attach as part of our case investigation. Just to recap, we saw on how powerful Financial Crime and Compliance Studio allows firms to do advanced analytics, leveraging both internal and external data. We saw an example of pattern discovery. Those were just some red flags which we configured. Firms can configure their own red flags to find suspicious pattern within their database. We also saw another notebook of using example of graph analytics and machine learning, which can turbocharge whole investigation process. Thank you.